Starting in a seated position, legs crossed if that's comfortable. Hands placed on the backs of the legs with the palms facing upwards. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and start to arrive. Arriving in your body. Starting to feel into your body, looking for areas of tension or tightness. And noticing where the breath is within the body. Maybe noticing that you're breathing in the chest, a shallow breath. Or you may be breathing lower down into the tummy. We're going to focus now on breathing into the belly. So placing the hands onto the lower belly, below the navel. As you inhale, feel the belly start to rise. And as you exhale, feel the belly draw back towards the spine. Inhaling as the belly rises. Exhaling as it draws back. Breathing now at your own pace. Starting to slow down the breath. Making each breath ever so slightly longer than the one before. So by focusing on the breath low down into the belly, we're creating distance from our minds, getting the focus away from all of those busy thoughts that race around in our heads, getting the focus deep down into the body. Also slowing down the heart rate and lowering the blood pressure. We're now going to bring the breath up into the rib cage. So maybe placing the hands on the outside of the rib cage. Draw up through the spine, the crown of the head. As you inhale, feel the ribs broaden out towards the side. And as you exhale, feel those lower floating ribs squeezing back in together. Inhaling, ribs broadening. Exhale as the ribs go back together. Keeping the same movement with the breath, we're going to start introducing Ujjayi breathing, breath with sound. Sometimes called ocean breathing. So it's a sound almost like fogging the back of a mirror, or sound a little bit like the ocean. So we're slightly constricting the backs of the throat, breathing through the nose. If it's uncomfortable to breathe through the nose, then do breathe through the mouth to start with. So it's a really calming breath. And the sound that we're making starts to drown out all of the thoughts in our busy minds. We'll take a couple more breaths here. And now start to flicker your eyes gently open, coming back into the room. We're going to start moving. Inhaling, raising the arms above the head, gazing to the thumbs. Exhale, twist to the right, left hand to right knee, and look over the shoulder. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale and twist, right hand, left knee, looking over the shoulder. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale and twist, over to the right. Inhale, raising the arms. Exhale and twist. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale the arms down onto the backs of the legs, palms facing upwards. So coming forward now onto hands and knees, either rolling forward or swing the legs around, and then just move the blocks out of the way. So coming onto all fours, shoulders directly above wrists. We're going to do cat-cow. As you inhale, start to lift the tailbone, lift the head looking forward. Exhale and arch. Feeling the movement rolling up through the spine. Inhale, rolling up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale and arch. Inhale, back to a neutral spine. Going to take the toes together, knees wide, sinking the hips for extended child's pose. Either arms can go out in front, or you could place the fists together, resting the head onto the fists. Resting the forehead down onto the floor. As you inhale, breathe into the ribs. Broaden across the shoulder blades. And let the tailbone start to move backwards, lengthening through the spine. One more breath there. Inhaling, walking the hands all the way back towards you, coming back to an all fours position. Inhale, tuck the toes under. Going to exhale, lifting the hips into downward facing dog. Starting to walk through the feet, so gazing between the ankles. And then as you inhale, walking the feet towards the hands, bend the knees as much as you need to, coming into a ragdoll position, holding on to the elbows and relaxing forwards. Now if your hamstrings are tight, then you can bend the knees. Take the weight a little forward into the balls of the feet. Relax the head down. Slowly start to rock from side to side. Let gravity pull the head down. The whole of the upper body relaxed. Inhaling, slowly rolling up vertebra by vertebra. Coming to a standing position. So standing now with the feet together, going to do sun salutations, lifting up the toes and spreading them before placing them back down on the mat. Now draw up through the arches of the feet, drawing energy up the legs. Draw back the belly and grow tall through the spine. Shoulders forward, up and down. And gaze straight ahead. Now inhale, raising the arms up above the head, gazing thumbs. Exhale, folding forward into Uttanasana. Relax the head, bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, lift the chest, gaze forward, hands either on the floor or your legs. Exhale, stepping back into plank. Exhale, take the knees down to the floor for the first one, and then roll down to lying. Inhale, rolling up to cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes under, lifting up the hips into downward facing dog. So gazing between the ankles, spreading the fingers nice and wide, relaxing the head. If the heels are a long way off the floor, you could bring them forward a little bit. Lifting up the sit bones. As you exhale, rise up onto your toes and gaze forward. And then step, either one big step or several steps, into gazing pose, hands, legs or floor. Inhale, raising the arms all the way up. Exhale, arms down by the side. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale, folding down, Uttanasana. Bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Exhale, place the hands down and step back into plank. As you exhale, either take your knees down to the floor and roll down to lying, or chaturanga, bending the elbows. Inhale, rolling up into cobra, pulling the shoulder blades down exhale, tuck toes under, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Going to hold for 5 breaths. Just try and bring your feet forward just a little bit. Fabulous. And then gaze towards your ankles. Let your head relax down. And really push the floor away with your hands. So pulling the weight backwards. Drawing the shoulder blades back as you breathe. As you next exhale, rise up onto the toes, gaze forwards, and then step or walk forwards straight into gazing pose. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale, arms down by the sides, Samastiti. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale, folding down, so we're starting to build heat. Inhale, lifting the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades. Exhale, coming back into plank, hands flat, and step back. Push the heels away, engage the glutes, and really push up from the middle of the body. As you exhale, place the knees down or chaturanga. And then come all the way down to the floor. Inhale, rolling up into cobra. Shoulders down the back. Exhale, toes under, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Bring the feet forward a little if your heels are way off. The feet are about hip width apart. Keeping the shoulders pulled back. Really engaging around the shoulder blades. Pushing through the hands. As you next exhale, rise up onto your toes and then step or walk forward straight into gazing pose. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale, arms down into Samastiti. Last one. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, lifting the chest, gazing pose. Hands down, either step or you could jump back into plank or straight into chaturanga. Come down towards the floor. Inhale, rolling up into cobra, or take the legs off the floor for upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes under, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Draw the belly back towards the spine, letting the head relax down, gazing towards the ankles. Pulling the weight gently backwards. Keep remembering Ujjayi breathing, listening to the sound of the breath. As you exhale, rise right up onto your toes, look forwards, and then step or walk straight into gazing pose, chest lifted. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, raising up the arms, gaze thumbs. Exhale, arms down, Samastiti. So, we're going to step or jump the feet slightly apart, so the feet are about hip width, ready for forward bends. Taking the hands onto the hips. Inhale, lifting up the chest, gazing towards the ceiling. Exhale, folding forwards. Now taking the hands either down onto the legs or down towards your feet, depending what feels right for you. If your hamstrings are tight, then do bend the knees. So if you bend your knees a little bit more, Emma. So if you're bending the knees, really focus on lengthening your spine and bringing the lower ribs towards your thighs. And then let the head relax down. So letting gravity do the work. taking the weights ever so slightly forward so it's in the balls of the feet. And if your legs are straight, pulling up the kneecaps to really engage the hamstrings. So the muscles work as pairs. So if we're engaging the quads and the fronts of the legs, it helps to release the hamstrings. And then pulling back the shoulder blades. Maybe lift your head slightly, calf. Perfect. Breathing into the ribs. A couple more breaths here. Work on drawing the belly back towards the spine. As you inhale, lift up the chest, gazing forward. Exhale, place the hands on the hips. Inhale, coming all of the way up. And then step or jump your feet back together. We're going to do Trikonasana, triangle pose. So step your feet about 3 feet apart, so quite wide. Feet facing forwards, lovely. Inhale, raising the arms out to the side. Turning the right foot out to face towards the right, and the left foot slightly in. Now the legs stay straight, however, if you've got pain in your knee, you may need to do a variation. So we're going to take the arms wide, and then reach towards the right, taking the arm down the leg. The left arm is coming up, palm facing forwards. And if it's uncomfortable to do triangle, then Emma's doing a knee strengthening exercise. So she's rotating over to the side, coming back to the centre, forward and over to the other side while Kath is in Trikonasana. Inhale, calf coming all of the way back up. Feet back to parallel, and Emma's going to join us for Trikonasana, the other side. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale, turning out the left foot, right foot slightly in. And then reach towards the wall and take your hand down towards your leg. So it may come onto your thigh, down your knee or shin, or down to hold on to your big toe. Reach up through the top arm and then look up towards your hand. However, if that's uncomfortable on your neck, you can look down. So opening out the front of the chest, listening to your breath. Inhale, coming all the way back to the centre. Arms down by the side, feet back to parallel. We're going to do wide angle pose, Parsvakonasana. So take the feet even wider. Turning out the right foot. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale, bend the right knee and then place the arm onto the leg. I'm going to reach over now with the arm. Fabulous. Pushing the outside of the left foot down into the floor. Listening to your breath. And a lovely stretch along the side of the body. Imagine rotating the tummy and the chest upwards. Inhale, coming all the way back to the centre, arms down. Turning the left foot out, right foot ever so slightly in. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale, bending the left knee. And then taking the arm onto the leg, right arm coming up and over. So you can turn the chin towards the underneath of your arm. And then if you can, gaze towards your fingertips without moving your head. Pressing down into the outside of the right foot and rotating, bringing the chest and the tummy round towards the front. Inhale, coming all the way back to the centre and turn your feet back to parallel. We're going to do wide leg forward bends. Inhale, take the hands to the hips. Now lift the chest. Exhale, folding forwards, Now you may only want to go part way, keeping the spine quite long, or you may be able to come down to take your hands down towards the floor, or even touch the floor. If your hands come down, then aim to start walking them back if it's comfortable, so they come in line with your toes, but only if that's comfortable. So don't push too hard. Never want to be pushing into pain. Keep pulling the shoulder blades back down the spine, and take the weight forward again, slightly into the balls of the feet, so the weight is centered. Let the head relax if you have your hands on the floor. Inhale, lifting the chest even more, gazing forward. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, the arms down. Inhale, raising the arms. Exhale, clasp the hands behind the back and really squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift the chest, squeezing the shoulders together. Exhale, starting to fold forward now, bringing the arms up. Imagine you're going to take your arms over towards the floor. Letting your shoulders relax. Every time you inhale, lengthen through the arms. And as you exhale, relax into the space that you've made. Listening to the breath. So every time we're using the breath to take us further, but never going into pain. Can you straighten your arms a little bit? It may want to go a little bit lower. Inhale, coming all of the way back up to standing, and then step or even hop your feet back together. So standing with the feet together, we're going to make our way down using chair pose. So inhale, bend the knees really deeply, taking the arms out in front. So imagine that you're going to be sitting down on a chair that's not there. Sinking your hips down as low as you can. Raising the arms up and gently gazing slightly upwards. Fabulous. As you exhale now, taking your hands down to the floor, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest once more, gazing forward. Hands down, stepping or jumping back into plank or chaturanga. Inhale, coming up into cobra or upward dog with the legs off the floor. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. We're just stretching out the legs here for a moment. Take one more breath, draw the belly back, breathe into the ribs. And then as you exhale, lower down onto your knees. We're coming down into sitting. So take your hips over to the right. And then taking your left leg over in front, if that feels comfortable. Fabulous. See if you can feel the sit bones on the floor, both sides. So just a little wiggle around. So we're going to inhale, grow tall through the spine. And then take the right arm around the left leg, ready to twist. Inhale, growing tall. Exhaling and twisting to look over the shoulder. And just placing the left hand very gently on the floor, not putting too much weight into it. Thinking continually about growing taller on each inhalation and each exhalation, twisting more into the space that you've created. One more breath here. As you next inhale, come all the way back to the center. Going to take the legs out in front and then cross the legs over the other way. So it's the right leg this time that's coming over the top. If that's really uncomfortable, you could have one leg straight out in front. Inhale, grow tall. Feel those sit bones on the floor. Wrapping around now the left arm round the leg. And then twisting. Starting to look over your shoulder. Each time you inhale, grow even taller. And as you exhale, twisting into the space that you've created. Listen to your breath. And you'll find that it becomes more difficult to breathe because the abdominal area is all constricted. So really focus on the breathing into the rib cage. As you inhale, come all the way back to the center and take the legs out in front. Dandasana, so placing the hands either side of the hips, fingers pointing forwards. I'm going to flex the feet, lift the chest, gazing at your toes, and then start to inwardly rotate your thighs. Inhale, lifting the chest. Go into a forward fold now. So as you exhale, starting to fold forward, you may want to use a belt or strap around your legs to lengthen the arms. So what we're trying to do is to keep the spine long with its natural curves, rather than aiming the head down to the knee and arching the spine. Every time you inhale, lifting up the chest, and then slowly coming forward, gazing down at the toes. Just take your chin down ever so slightly, Emma. Perfect. Nice calm breaths. As you next inhale, lift the chest even more, gazing towards your toes, and exhale as you start to fold down even more. Holding here for 5 breaths. So try pushing the heels down now into the floor. So it really engages the legs. Keep the breathing nice and calm. Just going to tuck your chin down ever so slightly. Fabulous. 4. And as you next inhale, start to come all of the way up. Take the belt to the side. We're going to place the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. Now, if your hips are tight, you could take your feet further forward, so you've got a diamond shape, or otherwise bringing them in towards the groin. So holding onto the feet as if you're opening a book, if that's comfortable. Otherwise, hold where is comfy. Grow really tall. And now start to engage the glutes and the side of the thighs. So using those muscles to open the hips. Again, not pushing too much. We get much further in yoga when we find a place of ease. Looking for relaxation in the pose. Now you may find that you want to start coming a little forward like Emma's doing, or you can stay sitting tall, keeping the chest really lifted. One more breath here. As you inhale, take your hands to the outside of the knees and bring them all of the way up. Legs out in front. We're going to come down into a lying down position. So pointing the toes, arms out in front. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. And then start to roll down vertebra by vertebra. If you need to, use your arms as you go down so you don't crash down onto the floor. And then we're going to roll over onto the tummy, ready for a pose called locust. So this is working the back of the body, it's very strengthening. So lying down on the tummy. Ideally having the forehead resting on the floor, but turn the head to the side if that's not comfortable. Arms down by the side of the body, palms facing downwards. Lovely. As you inhale, raise your right leg off the floor. Exhale and lower. Inhale, lifting the left leg. Exhale and lower. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, lower. Now leaving the legs on the floor. Inhale, gently lift the head, shoulders and the chest just a little way off the floor. Exhale, rolling down. Keep the pelvis pushed into the floor. Inhaling, lifting up chest, shoulders. Exhale, rolling down. Inhale, rolling up. See if you can lift a little bit higher this time. Exhale, rolling down. Last one. This time, inhale, lift the head, chest, shoulders, arms and legs if you can. We're going to hold for about 5 breaths. If you need to come down before, then do so. So we're really strengthening here all of the muscles in the back, particularly the top of the back, which start to get very weak with a lot of the way that we lead our lives. So the muscles at the front of the chest become quite tight and start to bring us forward with lots of sitting, working at computers. So we're looking to strengthen the muscles at the back to become more upright. Exhale and roll down. Inhaling, bringing yourselves back now into child's pose. Now you can have 2 options. Either have your toes together, knees wide, or you can keep your knees together depending on what's more comfortable. You just lift up slowly into child's pose, sinking the hips down. And you can have the arms out in front, or you can rest the arms down by the side of the body. Starting to relax the belly. Every time you exhale, let the chest sink down more and more to the floor. Calm breathing. We're working towards Shavasana now, relaxation. So as you next inhale, slowly start to come all of the way up. And then we're going to prepare to lie down for Shavasana. Preparing now for Shavasana, the relaxation. So come into a lying down position. There's 2 options. Either lie with the legs out in front, like Hatha is, and ideally take the feet a little bit apart. The other option, particularly if you have lower back pain, is to bend the knees like Emma is. So just more restful and comfortable for the lower back. Place your arms down by the side of the body with the palms facing upwards. Lengthen the back of your neck by slightly tucking the chin inwards, so getting that length. And what that does is activate the vagus nerve, which is associated with rest and relaxation. I'm going to invite you now to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Noticing your breath. Noticing your natural breath with your belly rising and falling. I'm going to mention different body parts. Every time I mention a body part, imagine that body part relaxing. We're going to start with the toes. Bring all of your attention to your toes. Every bit of your attention becoming acutely aware of the existence of your toes. The soles of your feet and the arches, the ankles, shins, and calf muscles. Let the knees soften and relax. Fronts of the thighs, backs of the thighs, buttocks, and the hips. Starting to feel the lower body becoming heavy. Feeling the legs sinking down towards the floor. Now move your attention to your lower back. Let the lower back drop down. The middle of the back and the upper back. Feel the space between the shoulder blades dropping down, making contact with the floor. Taking the attention now to the fingers. The fingers are curling in gently. The palms of the hands. The backs of the hands. The wrists. Forearms. Elbows. And upper arms. Let the shoulders melt down towards the floor. The back of the neck, the back of the head, the crown of the head. Imagine space above the crown of your head. Let the skin on the forehead smooth and soften. Relax the brow and let the eyes drop back into the sockets. The nose, cheeks, and lips. Soften the roof of your mouth and let the teeth rest slightly apart. Relax the jaw, the throat, collarbones, and take your attention to your heart center, the center of your chest. Let the rib cage drop down to the floor. Feeling the whole body getting even heavier. The body starting to get so heavy that it would be hard to lift it from the floor. Now take all of your attention to where your body meets the floor. Every bit of your attention to the back of your body. We're going to rest here for a little longer. Calm, peaceful, and relaxed. Visualize the room that you're in, the walls, ceiling, and your whole body lying calm and deeply relaxed on the floor. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Gently turn your head from side to side. And then have a really big stretch in any way that feels good. You may like to hug your knees into your chest and maybe rock from side to side or carry on stretching. Keeping your eyes closed, roll over onto your side, resting for just a moment or two longer. Slowly start to flicker your eyes open, adjusting to the light. And then bring yourself back to a seated position. And place the hands together. Namaste.